Right on the screen there, is that VS?
Yeah. It's frozen right now.
No, he's moving. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know why we're not showing up today, but we are on here. Probably because we're not talking yet. All right, we're live now. Okay, so now call to order the Board of Public Works for the city of Huntingburg. Let us stand with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Dear Father God, I thank you for those members here that are here today that donate their time to the city to make the decisions that can benefit for all the citizens. We now, on this National Day of Prayer, also thank those that came before us, elected officials that made it possible for us to begin our meetings in prayer. And we ask now that you guide us through this meeting, and in your Son's name we pray. Amen. Amen. First thing on there is approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
April the 2nd.
Second that.
So we have a first and a second approval of the April 2nd meeting minutes. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Approval of claims.
Make a motion to approve the claims.
I'll second it.
Got a first and a second on approval of claims. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. First up, we have Kylie Leclerc. Kylie, I think we have a picture in front of you. She is coming into the building. You can come up to the podium and kind of introduce yourself. Kylie's going to be opening business here a couple doors down and wanting permission to go through the process of getting a awning approved over the
Yes.
sidewalk.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Kylie Leclerc. I'm going to be opening a business. It is at 504 East 4th Street, which is 2 doors down from here. I'm needing to get an awning approved. I have measurements on the paper I have given to all of you. Hopefully it's clear on there. So if there are any questions.
No, I think the minimum is 7 feet, so.
Yeah, by ordinance, the Board of Public Works and Safety has to
Yeah.
approve any awning that protrudes outside the building over the public right of way.
Even a replacement?
Well, not a replacement, if it's an exact same footprint.
Same footprint,
But
okay.
if it's a new or larger one, you have to look at it, make sure, it's safe and it doesn't interfere with pedestrian traffic.
Well, we've viewed it downstairs, and it does meet the minimum standards in UDO. It's just a matter of right now getting approval from this board to go ahead with this project. Building by the picture is going to look much nicer than it looks now.
Thank you.
So we appreciate that. Any questions from anybody here?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay,
I'll second.
got a first and a second on approve. All those in favor? Aye. Any of those opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
So you
you.
could do your awning, just get together with downstairs with Andrea and,
Perfect.
all right,
you.
thank you. We have a special event application for Quanta's Car Show. Is anybody here?
Guess
I-
I could do that.
I guess we had 2 Quanta members up here, so we could probably do that.
Yeah, it's the Qantas Car Show Qantas has their annual car show. This year it's going to be on June 6th. We avoided the Garden Gate weekend because of the conflicts with other car shows on that weekend. But it's to be held on 4th Street between Main Street and Van Buren Street. Beginning at set up at 7 a.m. and tear down by 3 p.m. We anticipate 70 to 100 vehicles displayed that day and a crowd of perhaps 300 or so. We would want to barricade Main Street at the east end, east side of Main Street and Fourth. We'd also need barricades, movable barricades at Jackson and Fourth, on Jackson, both sides of Jackson, and then one on Van Buren Street. The Van Buren and Fourth. We've also attached our certificate of insurance, and our emergency response plan is also, emergency action plan is also.
You want movable at 231 too?
Yeah, 231, or I call Main Street, 231, on the east. So the bank side will be open. On the east side, and then we'll need.
I didn't know if you wanted the hard one there, or if you want to be able to move the cars in there too.
Yeah, they'll be movable because they're, get cars in and out especially, because they can't all go out one exit when it ends. So it really flows better when you can open up both ends. And the Quantas will be responsible for putting those in place and taking them back down. We just need to make sure we have the cones for the left turn lane too, for Main Street. And the arrow's there for no left turn and no right turn.
And also require, I guess, no parking notices the night before, Friday the 5th on 4th Street, between Main Street.
Kenley will supply you with the full application and particulars on everything that needs to happen there. So we need a motion to approve that. By the way, this will also be one of the events of one of many events that will happen in June or July that'll be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our country. And the car show will have that theme, along with coloring sheets for the kids and games and things that we have to do. And so it's, like I said, it's one of several things that are going on. In fact, some of the 250th banners around town you'll see going up today, celebrate recognizing the 250th anniversary, and we'll have the parks flags coming in pretty soon. We'll be dedicating a tree and a few other things in honor of it. So this will be the first event actually that will celebrate that. All right, do we have a motion to accept the event?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Got a first and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. There we have another special event application with the Yard Goat, October 2nd, I believe that one is. Are you presenting? Yeah. Just come up, introduce yourselves. I think we all know, but
Yeah, good morning. I'm Wade Pierce, just representing Yard Goat this morning. Basically, we want to do something similar that we did last year that y'all approved for, I think last year fell on November 1st. And we're wanting to push it up to October 3rd this year for the actual event occurring on, I think it's the first Saturday in October. They're just hoping for a little bit better weather, but everything that took place last year will be what we're looking to do this year. Very, very similar.
and these are going to be removable barriers too, because we'll open it back up later in the
Yes,
evening.
yes.
What was the exact time that it ended, or?
I think we've got it on the application as for 10 o'clock.
Okay.
It may have ended just a little bit earlier than that, but the cleanup and stuff and tear down of the small stage that we had took a little bit, so.
So it'll be something that'll be open back up for traffic, by midnight anyway,
Yes,
probably, so. So,
231 Jackson.
yeah, be the same as, pretty much the same setup as the car show.
Yeah, other than they're stopping at Jackson, we go all the way to Van Buren.
Yeah. I'll make a motion to accept. It was a great event last year. It's pretty well attended, even though the weather was a little
yeah,
sketchy.
the weather could have been a little better, but yeah, it's a good turnout.
It was great to have in it. Yeah, I ran into the mayor of Batesville last week. He was excited to say, I want to come here this year, because
Awesome.
Yard Goats attends their festival that they have, I think, coming up here in a couple of weeks.
Yes,
And so there are some discussions of other people attending here from out of town. I think it'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys.
All right,
Appreciate
thank
it.
you. Thank you, Wade. Street Department roof replacement. We also have Universal Design here to answer any questions. I know some of you have been meeting with Brett and off to, outside of this, but just where we did not have a quorum, there was 2 members present, and so to ask questions.
Basically, I think you guys had the bid tab sheet. Roof Links LLC was the low bidder at $250,497. Talking with Brett with Universal Design, the engineer on the project. They do have all their forms and things that they need to do to do this project, to complete it. I know Brett did his due diligence in checking in on this company just to make sure that they are capable of handling this project. They have worked in the city of Huntingburg quite often for OFS. They've done a lot of projects for them with this same type of roof system. They also have done some work at French Lick on the French Lick Springs Hotel. So we feel pretty confident that they would be sufficient to proceed with the project. So our recommendation would be to accept that bid from Roof Links LLC for $250,497.
When did this bid opening take place?
Monday, May the 4th.
The references checked out very well. The the material they're using is a Duralast material that'll be, so they'll carry the factory warranty on this for a 25-year period. I can tell you from all the roofs I put on through the years in restaurants, Duralast was always what we always preferred because of its durability. It's also, it has some ability, for air sealing and some other positives that will come in positive on the building. It's pretty much what most restaurants use, OFS here locally, most factories use hotels out at French Lick. There's also the company that did the dome repair at West Baden. So they're a reputable company. They've got some very good references, and they're out Charlestown, Indiana, just a little close. 98,503 less than the next bid, so. Any questions? We did make sure we did make sure and double check that we did have local contractors that were requested. We did have one Du Bois County person at least that did bid. They weren't the highest bid, but they were not close to this bid by any means. So I would make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. So we'll get together, Tom and I, we got together yesterday on the bid and try and appropriate the money in the proper places, and then we'll give a notice to proceed after that and acceptance of the bid.
What
I'll
kind
be
of
here
time
within a
frame?
few days.
What kind of time frame did they say they could get started?
They, in their bids, they said basically, 1st of June or 30 days after the notice to proceed. Obviously they can't start till we issue that. We can't issue that till we make sure all the funding's been reappropriated and set up for it. So, I mean, it sounds like when we get all our ducks in a row, they'll be pretty well ready to go. They did have a schedule in there of completion in 30 days, I believe. So their plan is to get in, get it done and get out. So
Roof companies make their money off of partly getting it done quickly, so, we feel good about the warranty and about the performance of this company, so I think we made a good choice there. We'll get it done.
Yep.
Then we'll look at the interior. There'll be interior work we'll have to complete within the building too, so.
You're gonna do that mostly in-house then, the interior?
some of it, as much of it as what we can, yeah.
All right, next up, I know we have, you have on there your Fourth Street discussion. We have some merchants here I know that'd like to come up here, and any of you that are, here represented that. I met yesterday with some of you, most of you actually yesterday. Wade, you have something? Anybody wants to make a comment about that? But we were presented the four options, last month, and I said, we would talk to merchants, see, their thoughts and feelings on that. And I think we have a few here. I would rather hear their thoughts before we move on to our own discussion internally, if you're okay with that.
Fine with that.
Okay. Does anybody want to say anything? If you do, you come to the podium, speak loud, state your name. And on the screen right now, we have Brandon from VS Engineering. And he's here to answer any technical questions that you might have. I did have a couple of people that wanted me to share their thoughts, but I'll wait for that.
Hi,
Aye.
I'm Catherine Wilder, Secretary of the Huntingburg Merchants Association. We discussed this a little bit in the Merchants Association meeting yesterday. We didn't have a huge group of attendees at the meeting. So, I think the people that were there at the meeting had the opportunity to speak with you, Mayor, or someone else on the board. I'm not certain. I personally haven't seen anybody from the Board of Public Works come to any of the merchants to talk to them
Yeah.
personally, or at any of our meetings. You are welcome to come.
We did email the options out after
did.
last month's Board of Public Works
And
meeting.
then I
so
forwarded that to all of our membership. So
give them an opportunity.
anybody else have any ideas, questions, comments?
I've heard everything in the world, so, I'm not gonna try to speak for those that spoke to me directly. But everybody seemed to be, viable for all options. We did receive one email this morning. I'll just share that with one of the merchants on Fourth Street that, didn't care what we did as long as there were bricks when we got done, whether it had compacted or whatever. I will say that Curly Souders at Options, board member did want me to share, since he wasn't able to be here today, that either the two brick options were acceptable to him from a vote standpoint, and so that's it. Does anybody else want to share? Any citizens? Questions you might have of Brandon, board members? Discussions on where we are. Of course, we can't take straw polls prior to today, so I don't know where everybody stands.
Are you wanting to try to make a decision today?
Yeah, you can table it or make a decision. But we need to make a decision at some point, yeah.
So my understanding that the individuals who have indicated a desire for the pavers would be alternate 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 or 2.
One would be concrete aprons at the intersections, is that correct?
No, I'm sorry. No. Not 1 or 2. It'd be compacted and full concrete all the way through.
The
which would be
compacted would
compa-
be concrete at the intersections
Yeah.
and then compact the rest. And then the other option is concrete under the whole thing.
Okay.
Those are the two options.
I've heard
to put the brick back.
nobody with really any desire to do anything with stamped concrete, and from a
I-
maintenance
yeah,
standpoint,
I
it's,
highly recommend the stamped concrete as not a viable option.
So one or two, like Phil said, or where people are leaning.
Number one is concrete aprons with
Right,
compacted
right.
aggregate everywhere else, recompacted aggregate.
And two's
Number
concrete
is
all the way.
concrete everywhere.
I did have a couple of merchants
Under-
yesterday say they were okay with asphalt as long as we were able to maintain it with, coatings that keep it looking good, through time, and, that would be a simple, easy process, probably cheaper than everything else. Everything will be installed with the 1% grade. Brandon, you've run the water displacement on that, so really, the drain in any of these circumstances in the center is adequate to be able to catch anything on a 100-year rain, or
Yeah, Mayor,
I
the
can't
trench
hear
drain
you.
in the trench drain in the middle was designed as though the imperviousness of the pavement was not there. So it was conservatively designed.
What exactly does that mean, Brandon?
It was designed so that it would all drain, whether the pavers are there or whether it's a solid surface, it will all drain.
It'll
to
all
the
drain
center.
to
Right now, it's designed now with the permeable pavers that a lot of that water comes into the end of the bottom of the drain. I don't know if you notice after heavy rains, there's no water on the street. That's why. In the absence of water getting to the bottom drain, the top drain will handle it.
What happens if that 1 to 2% grade ends up with divots in it?
Ruts.
Ruts, thank you. Will water, snow, ice, that type of thing collect in that? Is asphalt anticipated to have that type of problem? Is that just due to heavy truck traffic? I mean,
There's a lot plays into what your question, but yes, I mean, if the subgrade is put in properly, which it has a pretty good base in there now from the bricks. If it's put in properly and the asphalt thickness is put in to the desirable depth, then yeah, it shouldn't happen because it doesn't have the heavy truck traffic that other streets do.
It happens, it just takes longer to happen, correct, Jason?
It can. I'm not saying that it will, but it can. But
that would be an easy fix
that's
for
an-
the street department.
that's a come in, mill an inch and a half off of it and put it back just like we do other roads and then they're gone.
To maintain.
Far as the appearance of it, like the mayor alluded to that, we can go in there, if you're familiar with Chestnut Street, like from 19th Street out to Phoenix, where we put liquid road on it, it makes it black again. That could be done numerous times on it. If the subgrade and everything's holding up and we want it to look new again, we can put the sealer on there, and that can be done multiple times.
But don't you think if we, just hypothetically, if we would concrete it, wouldn't the longevity of the concrete last longer?
It
And
can, I
and
mean,
it would be less likely to start sagging where the tire, the tracks are.
it will not rut like
Yeah.
asphalt will, but it will also crack. And if you're going to do that, you're gonna have, obviously you got gray concrete, and then you're gonna have crack seal, or you're gonna have black, just like I alluded to the last time on First Street, where after they got done, we went in and crack sealed all the joints.
Well, they make clear cracks.
And they make a great color, but
Yeah.
we don't run that through our machine.
Cause I looked at that since the last
Yeah.
meeting, and they do
Yeah.
make it.
They do make
It's a little more expensive, but
And we would have to find a different way to install it because we wouldn't be able to do it with our
Yeah.
machine that we have.
We obviously have the costs that are listed here for initial instruction. The higher the cost, probably the longer it would take us to accumulate the money to finish the job with the state cuts we have now in our funding. The gas tax being forgiven we've already got notice from MnDOT that funding could be cut again because of the 2 months of tax cuts on the gas tax, because those are funds that go to local communities for this community crossings and our other funding, which has gone down every year for the last 3 years anyway, by a few $100,000. So
This is a tough decision because as a board, we're stuck between a rock and a hard spot. I understand that some people want the brick. But if we put the brick back basically the way they are now with just putting approaches, we're gonna be at this same problem in 5 to 7 years again. And if we don't have the money to concrete the whole thing and put the brick back, that would be what I'd wanna do. But I don't think that's spending the taxpayers' dollars wisely, cause that's over double the cost of either concrete or asphalting.
That's a good question for Brandon. I think, Brandon, I think in your report, you indicate that alternative number one with the compacted aggregate and concrete at the approaches, the design life is 50 years.
See, that's misleading.
the bricks will last 50 years, but the surface may
Subgrade.
not be level. Maybe not maintain a 1% grade.
Yeah, so the annual maintenance on alternative one will be higher than other alternatives. But the from what the manufacturers say, once you pull the pavers up and recompact them, each time you do that, the deflection that you get is less and less.
But if you just compacted the middle and put approaches, you're gonna have to do the same thing we're doing right now.
Eventually, yes.
Catherine, is the feel through the merchants stick with the brick, right? Is that
I
what?
think the feel is, let's make it as safe as we can, as pretty and aesthetically pleasing as we can, at a reasonable cost. That also is not going to take a whole lot of time to have installed, because our merchants can't handle having the street closed down and missing out on business. I mean, especially in the economy that we're in right now, they need all of the foot traffic that they can get.
I had one merchant say if we did the concrete underneath, we did the 2-week wait between, getting back on it with each section like that, that her business would be dead. She doesn't know she can survive a long construction period.
Well, see, that's the problem with doing anything with the bricks themselves, especially if you just repack the subgrade, because we fix it now, in 5 years again, then the businesses are gonna have to put up with it. So, I think, in my opinion, we need to do one of the options that will last a long time. Then the businesses don't have to be disrupted for quite a time.
Be aware that there's utilities in there for period from time to time. Those utilities need to be
Well,
obtained.
whether it's asphalt or concrete, in my opinion, as long as it's repaired right, I think it's gonna look okay.
So you say concrete would, whether you do a full concrete base or whether you do a concrete surface, it's gonna be a 2-week closure for the cure?
Correct, yeah. The 2 weeks on each pour, right? Is that correct, Brandon? On the concrete?
Yeah, so it depends on the type of concrete. You can have a high early strength that is a little bit quicker than that. But for actual motor vehicles to be on it, I would say comfortably 2 weeks.
You allow comments from the.
Yeah, if you're making comments like you come for, of course, because it's broadcasting that microphone. Can't pick up all the way over there.
Well, I'm gonna agree with Dustin. I think option one is a no-go. If you're gonna do any concrete underneath, I think it all needs to be concrete underneath. I don't think we need to do part of it. I mean, I know the cost is more, but you've got the long-term longevity out of it by putting it everywhere. And I think that would be a better, if we wanna go with concrete underneath. On part of it, I think we should just concrete the whole thing underneath. But
The concreting underneath, do we understand that also requires a 2-week curing
yes,
period?
yes.
It's not, to be clear, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, I do construction. It's not necessarily a 2-week cure. It's a 7-day cure, depending on the PSI. We go 4,000 PSI. We're clear with heavy traffic in 7 days, correct? Because we're not putting big trucks on this road. We're just putting light, we're just putting,
Trucks that come down the road.
Correct, but there, it's not a main part of travel. So on an engineer standpoint, a 7-day cure is all you
That's
need.
what I mean, yeah. It's longevity of it.
So I'll let you speak to that and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a 7-day, it's actually a brake test, but 7 days, we can put what we call medium traffic back on that road, correct?
At 7 days, you would do your brake test, correct?
Mhm.
It would be up to the contractor. So if you're doing the concrete with the pavers over the top, you also have to wait for the pavers to be back down before you can put traffic on it, because you're going to have the 4 inches that the concrete is set down below where the final grade is. So keep that in mind. So you may have 7 days for the concrete to cure to a point where they can put their truck traffic or their skid loader or whatever they're going to use to get the pavers back down on top of that concrete. So that's why I'm saying 14 days to ensure that they have enough time to actually get the pavers back down and make it a road that you guys can travel on.
Can I ask a question on what the timeline is if we would go option one, redoing the subgrade with removal of subgrade now to recompact, do a test on that, and it is all weather depending on that, because if we hit a rain spot or whatever it may be, that changes the duration of it. What does that look like?
I can't give you a
It's the same
timeline on any
It's still
on
no
any
matter what.
Yeah, so I mean, any of these construction methods is gonna be subject to rain delays and how fast the contractor wants to get it done. How many man hours they want to put on this to get it done in a timely manner. So we can't dictate how fast the contractor. We can tell them they have this much time to get it done, and they can use all of that time, or they could use a very small fraction of that time. So I wish I could tell you this is exactly how much time it takes, but it is very, very dependent upon the contractor that actually does the work.
No, absolutely. I just wanted to give a clear comment to the merchants and the taxpayers that just because we say 14 days doesn't mean that all options won't be the exact same. It's all weather dependent. They have whatever the window is, it's 60 days. More than likely going to take 60 days regardless of which option they go. My only comment to the board would be, look at it financially. Don't look at it as necessarily what we can do today. Look at what it does to us tomorrow. There's been some great comments here about we're going to do this in 5 to 7 years. Financially, does not make sense. The mayor just alluded that we're losing money every single day, right? And what's going on in the economy today, we could be subject to lose 30%. Mayor, correct me if I'm wrong. We're both attached to a lot of the same emails with my aspirations, here in the city. So we got to look at that, right? We cannot continue to re-spend money. All right, look at 14th Street, Veterans Parkway. We keep throwing money in, but nothing's sticking, right? It's not feasibly responsible for your positions of what we do. So please look at it that way. I respect the merchants and everything they do for our city. We can't continue to go without them. We know that. But if we go and hurt them again in 5 years, we go and hurt them again in 7 years, we're back to the same table. In my opinion, it's no disrespect to the merchants. I would rather disappoint a merchant for a couple days to get a road that's going to last them 30 years than make them happy. And we're back to this in 5 years. And in 5 years, we don't have any money. So let's please look at it that way. That's my only comment.
And I'll agree with a lot of your points there too.
Agree with that.
As we look, a lot of things are happening. Gas taxes are going down. We've lost, I think, 220,000 a couple of years ago, a little bit more this year, and now with gas taxes being forgiven, that's a little bit more of a cut. More money for streets is going to Marion County than ever before. They get a third of the state's allotment there. Between parks, community crossings, and gas tax and everything else, from my first year as mayor till now, it's about 1.8 million less we'll get this year. And it won't get any better next year. So, we do have to consider those. But when you consider the financial thing, we need to look at what is the 25-year, 30-year cost of that road to the city and look at that cost. So when we go into I mean, I will tell you, just give you my opinion. I'm leaning, asphalt is where I'm falling. That's an idea. That's an area where we can work with it. We can get it done quickly. It won't impact the merchant short term, long term. Asphalt's easy to work with. I mean, it's a simple mill job down the road. Even if we do the concrete completely under the bricks, there is a compacted material between the bricks and the concrete that we'll have to deal with. And from time to time, we'll have to pull up bricks, pull out chip bricks, on an annual basis, probably a couple times a year, and maybe even put more compacted material underneath, because they will, no matter what, eventually shift back and forth, wear on each other. And the color has already faded. You can't really tell what color they were originally. Mentioned we can flip them over, but 2 years from now, it won't matter. They'll be back, they'll fade back again to their present color. Asphalt, we can recolor it, we can seal it, we can do a lot of things. The biggest negative thing is that there could be a little gap between there and the concrete, but we can use crack filler that run down through there and fill those cracks. So that's where I'm at. It's the least expensive alternative, but I think long-term it's there. If we have to do utility work or anything else, we can still make it look nice. There's things that we could do to enhance it later on. We could maybe put in some aprons of brick and down the center, crosswalks or something like that. We probably should consider crosswalks at the alleys anyway, because we get everybody crossing in the middle of the street and, from where the alleys are near Butcher and Barrel and Yard Goat, I'd say more people cross there than cross at the corners. So we need to think about safety, and if we put a crosswalk there and do a break with brick, we could bring some of the picture back there, or we do some type of material where we can delineate that from the rest of it. And, Lafayette paints some of their streets, with their logos or different things, with their historic districts. They have some painted areas. There's a lot of things that we could do, I think, to bring attention to the street, but
We also talked about that yesterday at the merchants meeting, that with having asphalt, it would be a whole lot easier for snow removal for the street department versus with the current brick situation. They have to do a lot of manual labor, and it usually happens a day or two after the snow event, which does affect the merchants that are open, because no one can park on 4th Street while it's filled with snow.
yeah, delay wasn't a big deal last time because everybody was shut on Mondays and we did it on Tuesday, but because it came over the weekend. But if it happens middle of the week and we're doing that on a Friday or a day when they're trying to recoup from that, it's not a good thing.
Maybe I asked the price difference between the asphalt and concrete. I wasn't given the actual breakdown of the 4 options. I don't know the price. Can you share that with the-
Well, if you're looking at, depends on which concrete, if you're looking at full concrete underneath the bricks, and of course there has to be something between the brick and the concrete, that's $692,000. Asphalt cost estimate is 315. The construction period for, was estimated at 120 days on the concrete under the pavers. Our construction estimate, there was no construction time estimate given on asphalt, but I think we can all guess that we can drive on it the same day. Probably the biggest labor intensive thing will be getting the bricks back up and recompacting everything else, doing the drive overs and everything. We have to make sure that it's ready for the asphalt. And frankly, we could, but anyway, that's 315,000. Stamped concrete.
But there's also 4, which is just Portland cement concrete,
Yeah,
and that's 422,000.
422, for Portland cement.
Option number 3 for the asphalt, it does say that it takes approximately 60 days to construct.
I missed that.
So
Okay.
it's at the very bottom on the.
Okay, you're right.
3
Yeah.
alternative.
Yeah,
And
okay.
so that would be the
Half the
quickest
cost.
install, again, weather permitting.
Portland cement, where you put cement in place of the concrete. One thing that will happen with the cement, the 7-inch layer, is that if there is some settling underneath, normally the concrete stays where it is. You see that bridging, seeing it on
So-
First Street. where there
Mayor,
was a-
one comment I wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of. So the 60 days or the 120 days, that's assuming that we're closing down half of Fourth Street at a time. So 30 days on one half, 30 days on the other half. So same with the 120 days, we'd be 60 days on one half, 60 days on the other half. We wouldn't close down the entirety of Fourth Street at one time. So we would break at 231. And then we would also ensure that the sidewalks are open at all times on Fourth Street. So all the businesses would still be able to be accessed at all times during construction. Just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of those.
Alternate one was the aprons under that in concrete aprons under the pavers at the intersections. That was 437. Number two, concrete under the pavers all the way through 692. Option number three, hot mix asphalt, HMA $315,000. Number four, Portland cement concrete pavement was $422,000. Estimate number five, which is stamped concrete. I don't think anybody was in favor of that I talked to. It's 578. And we kind of talked about some of the problems with stamped concrete as far as patching back and getting, if we needed to get back in there, but also snow removal and the water will set in the cracks and ice and those type of things. But
Mr. Mayor, I hate to quit interject. I think it's the last question. I just want to give clear content. The 60 days for the asphalt, 120 days for full concrete, those are only for the bidding company that's doing that. That's not removal of the current bricks that's there. So therefore, each one of these, either we're rebidding the removal part or we're doing it in-house. I'm not sure which one that's going. I don't think that's in the correct.
yeah,
branding.
the hot mix asphalt estimate of 315,000 included the removal and replacement of the permeable paver travel lanes with the flexible pavement. Be constructed with hot mix asphalt utilizing pavement design specified by the city of Huntingburg, otherwise our existing streets design. Aggregate layer will be placed over the existing subgrade to a depth required by the pavement design. And that is showing for the preliminary pavement design is based off the commercial roadway classification. There'll be no alterations to the existing concrete headers that border the roadway. So that does include removal, compacting of the material, and putting it back, the asphalt back in.
Jason, if Portland, alternate four, Portland cement concrete surface, if that's used, would that result typically what we see down on First Street where all the cracks are sealed with black crack sealer?
Well, that's what Dustin, yes, it would. To answer your question, it would have to be crack sealed with some sort of material, whether it be the
So you
black.
have these spider webs.
Or you
effect.
can use gray and it doesn't show up as bad.
The 422,000 is working off of an assumption that we would need a additional 6-inch layer of aggregate, 7-inch thick layer of PCCP, which the rigid concrete pavement. Some of that could be because we bid these jobs also by volume, if they use less aggregate underneath to get to that level. And there's different factors in there, but that's estimate based upon recompacting everything underneath with that. That's probably it'll probably be close to that. It could vary one way or the other on the bid.
The difference, in my opinion, between the asphalt and the concrete, as far as the appearance goes, asphalt, you can put seal coat on it to make it look black again. Concrete, once it's done, it's done. You're gonna have black marks where people turn their tires to get into parking spots. They wear off, but they're gonna be seen. You are gonna see the cracks even if you use the gray. So it's just a matter of, what you want. I mean, like I said, you can make the black again, the gray, concrete, it is what it is, you know.
Can you put in colored concrete? Is that a stupid question?
It's not a stupid question. Yes, it can be done, but the issue with that is if you have to cut it out and patch it back, it's a lot of times in the concrete companies will tell you it's hard to match that concrete batch. Exactly. I mean, they can get close, but
Their aggregates change slightly from, you know, batch to batch as far as the color of it.
I would think, putting in asphalt, black asphalt would just cook people on street events. I don't think that's a good plan for those kinds of things. My second question is there like a hybrid model where you could just put, I've seen this on some streets, you could just put concrete, 3-foot wide sections where the tires go and then brick the rest. So most of the heavy lifting is done by the concrete and you don't have to worry about.
Yeah, that's alternate one on here.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
that's got concrete under it, the approaches with the bricks laid on top.
Well, I'm
I
saying
think he
concrete all the way up. where the
He's even
tires
talking
usually
about putting in a
go,
tire
and
lane.
then bricks around.
Yeah, he's talking about the travel lane where the tires,
Yes.
problem
yeah.
is nobody drives the center of the lane.
Yeah,
They
I
all
know,
drive
that's-
on
that
those
was
greats.
easiest
I hear it every day.
People drive down the grate. They
Yeah,
drive
yeah.
down the grate.
She's like, "No, what-"
Sounds like a
But-
train.
And I think.
I'm more
if you
undecided.
look at
I-
what's
I
the
am-
other
I'm
option,
too.
some of that will
That's
go
what I was
away.
gonna ask you guys, wanted to make a decision.
I don't mind making the
They just
decision, I just don't know
they
what.
didn't pose an option for asphalt underlay.
At first I was concrete,
No,
but now
it's-
it's
it
like
would.
That wouldn't work.
No, because
the cost savings of
brick
asphalt,
company
and it is
wouldn't.
easier.
Oh,
to-
okay, would guarantee.
Jason is right, if you wanna make it look new again, it's easier to make it look new than
concrete,
concrete.
asphalt
know.
will move too much.
We need to table
It'll
it.
move
and have
more
another
compacted,
discussion.
more than compacted
Compacted rock,
material.
yeah.
Does, let me ask this question and kind of get forward. Do you feel that this is something you want to make a decision today, or do you want to make a final decision next month? We put it off, put it off, put it off. That isn't necessarily a bad thing. Do you feel like you want to engage a little more with this, with the engineers? I know
Let's go another
Dan
month.
had some time. Curly wasn't able to make it today for some personal issues that were very understandable. And he's had some time to meet with Brandon. We could take a couple more, Dustin and Carrie, and I've already made those things. We can only have 2 people present, but if 2 more people want to spend a little more time over the next month with VS and make a final vote. So I'm really looking at you, Dustin and Carrie, because you've not had that opportunity. I know
Well, I think that,
Carrie went through tax season and Dustin's going through it was a busy season. He
Um,
wasn't able to make any of those.
well, I think
meetings, so.
to make it simple, I think, I'm not speaking for the other board members, but, I think the option for us is either going concrete or going asphalt, because I don't think it's a responsible decision to go back with any kind of the brick options. So I think that's where we're trying to go is, okay, do we want to put pavement or do we want to put concrete? I think that's the 2 decisions that, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys, but I don't know if we wanna, that's a lot of money to spend just on a whim.
My question is, how much money's available? I continue to hear the budget's been cut, the budget's been cut, the budget's been cut, but when you decide on this, whichever one you decide.
If it gets over 350,000, we have to get very creative and long-term. And we have council member here, but they're gonna have, in the end, council's gonna have to appropriate the funds for it. We can do most at 300, with the, there's some funds here and there. We'd have to bring them from different areas. And depends on if you want to hit your rainy day funds and mortgage yourself out long-term and not have money for major emergencies. And that's what would happen with these 692 and 578,000. That's the type of situation we'd be in. With the asphalt and concrete, we have options. We do have an endowment, by the way, for the street through Stellar Endowment that we can use money from that. I think it's around 150,000 right now that we take that out there annually. I think we're up to 150 in that range, 159 maybe, which would pay for half of the asphalt option. The other option would be going back to the endowment and asking for a prepayment of endowment funds. So we wouldn't receive any funds for the next 3 or 4 years. If we did that, we could take the chair and we could do it. You know, if we, and I understand your, anything hard, it's paved or concrete, is gonna produce heat. Asphalt will, to your point, produce more, a little more than what the bricks do. But, you know, it's, as much as you merchants throw on that street when you do your closed events, not much of it's showing, when we do it anyway with with everything you put out there, the kids' games and everything else. But it is, you know, I could easily vote for concrete, but just from a long term, I like the asphalt option the best. But I'm not gonna stop a project to my personal beliefs. I mean, we have a Board of Public Works to make these decisions. People have to know the understanding of it. At 692,000, we could do it, but it might be delayed a couple years before we can appropriate the funds to get there. Because
Well,
it's gonna have to be another budget.
I don't think that would be spending the taxpayers' dollars wisely because just for.
It's also the longest maintenance cost.
Yeah.
So, and I say the longest because it go on forever. Yes,
Talking about the maintenance in the future, but the next time we have a water leak and you have to tear up whatever we do, which is gonna be the easiest to repair, consider that in your thoughts too.
Either the asphalt or the concrete would be the easiest in my,
Yeah, because we have had a couple of major water leaks since all of that
Mhm.
has been done too.
yeah, we had to replace a water valve last year in the street.
There was, and I don't remember when it was, but when there was one leak that was over, kind of in front of where the grind is now. And they had to bring up some of the pavers. And I thought there was some kind of concrete rock mixture that they put down. I don't know how, but it doesn't look like where they brought anything up there, those pavers have moved at all. But I don't remember, you know.
That's
I don't know if
probably
anybody up here
do you know that
remembers
was
how they
flowable
did
fill
that.
that they put in there?
It's a product called flowable fill that we fill in holes with
Okay,
at certain times. And that's probably what. was
could
put
be,
in
because,
there.
yeah, because it, you know, it,
It's basically sand and cement and it gets hard, but yet you can still dig it with a shovel.
one hand, I hate to push it off
Is
another
there
month because
any
the street's so bad.
option of that being a possibility.
That's very expensive.
Okay.
But I just know they
Yeah.
haven't, you know, in that particular area, I don't believe any of the pavers.
I think we just need to
have
make a
moved since
motion
that
to
a few years
table it.
ago.
Plus, yeah, and then that takes away the.
Yeah, contractors don't like it for us having that requirement when they do utilities because it does raise the cost considerable for doing those.
Wasn't sure what it was, but
But it's a great option to, I mean, that's what was used out on 231 on some of the utility cuts that you saw happen last year. And that's a state issue, but they required it there too. You don't see that sinking there. You'll see areas around the city where it has shrunk utility cuts and gone down. That was prior to the standards that we have now.
I'd like to make a motion that we table it till next month, get all the board members together and get all the points of view together before we make a decision.
I'll second it.
So we have first and second to table the motion till next month. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. You know, I'll say, you know, I just encourage, we have Brandon here and you can check off now. You don't have to be here the rest of the time, but encourage, we'll get you connected with Brandon. I know Dustin and Carrie's the only one that hasn't met with Brandon one-on-one, so we'll do that. Just for public notice reasons, you know, just realize we're not out here to conduct straw polls. We're not out there to do anything that would not be public. So meeting the two of you is not a quorum. just for the audience to know that they're there generating information, no decisions made. I had no idea what they were thinking when I walked in here today, other than that Curly Satters gave his opinion. So we'll move on. And I know yesterday, some of you even here, you weren't sure what should happen down there. And we had a little bit of a conversation about that. And I'm not trying to steer anybody any way at all, but I've gone to the point where I'd love to see this move forward with asphalt. And that's where I'm at.
Can you approve a committee, Mayor, with the 2 board members, a person from the merchants, the engineering company, and like somebody else to meet? And there's no
Yeah.
discussion, it's just discussion, right? You can do that, correct?
Yeah.
Anytime you create a committee, an official committee, it becomes a public meeting. It has to be streamed, broadcast, and open to the public.
So if I just point,
Doesn't matter if it's a committee, if it's an appointed committee, if the mayor appoints a committee or the board appoints an official committee, that becomes a public agency that has to
So my question
comply with
would
open
be,
door
if
law.
those 2 meet with Mr. Brandy, can one of
They're
us
not
show up?
they're not a committee, they're just.
Correct, but I
very-
can show up. If it's open and I know about it, I can show
Well,
up tonight.
if you're invited,
Well,
if these 2 gentlemen want to meet and get information from the engineer, that's up to them whether they want to
can
include.
invite me, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I guess they could.
It's not committee.
Yeah.
Not
so
a committee.
yeah, the state law says any appointed board or committee that's appointed by executive or by a legislative branch, meaning the council or anybody else, that they're open, that they're subject to the open door laws. So if I pick 3 people out of here as a committee, that has to be televised as we are today. That's why we're trying to keep it at 2. Obviously, if somebody comes in and they have questions, and maybe we just do this, Brandon, we could just do a Q&A that wouldn't be a public meeting where the merchants could ask you questions. And we could just do it here and then.
Yeah, I have no issue with that, Mayor.
Yeah, without a majority of the board present.
Yeah.
Or I was even going to encourage anyone from the Board of Public Works to meet individually with the merchants by walking down 4th Street and actually going in and speaking with the owners and finding out their viewpoint.
Yeah. I think I've only had 2 strong viewpoints and, and not everybody have I spoke to, obviously, but I try to go to all the merchants meetings. I missed a few here now and then. But give you an opportunity to talk about it. I think last month, we received these proposals about 3 hours after the merchants meeting. I'd been there actually with the intent of taking the 5 proposals and presenting them to you, but I didn't have the final copy till a couple hours afterwards. So, but that's when we tried to get them out to you as quickly as possible, and so you could have a chance to look at them.
They were sent to us on, I believe, April 2nd.
I think I talked to just about all of you at least once a week, it seems like, and, Dottie probably not as much because I don't catch her there as much, but most of you, I try to pop into your businesses as much as I can. Some of you I've been in 3 or 4 times in the last week, but we'll see. All right, we tabled that. Brandon, I'll let if we do something with the Q&A with anybody here, I'll let Carrie and Dustin set that up with you. That way we can ensure that I stay out of it and stay not involved in that so we don't end up with the quorum in the meeting. So we'll kind of let you 2 take the lead. I'll give you all the contact information and you can work out a date between it. Okay? Thank you.
That sounds good. Thank you all.
Thank you. So, I tried to change that view a while ago, but I couldn't. Next, on the agenda,
Better for Jason.
you gotta have any other parts of your report, Jason? Basically, I don't have a whole lot. Update on the Veterans Parkway, federal grant that we got. We did, have an RFP selection process, which we're required to do. We did that.
Had to score the engineering firms that were interested in that project. Through the selection process, Clark Dietz was selected to be the engineer for that. So we are moving forward with them on getting a contract together. Once I get that together, then I have to supply NDOT with that. So that's moving forward.
And to be clear, they were the only respondee.
Yeah.
to-
The only,
to the
we
project.
I reached out to 5 engineering firms, I believe, and they were the only one that really had time to do it. So they were the one that did turn in a proposal for it. I think that's pretty well, the community crossing projects that we got for 2026. You see on there that JBI did start work over here on Short Fourth and Van Buren. They are done. J.H. Rudolph was supposed to be in here next Monday on May the 11th, but they are pushing that back a week because of all the rain. Their milling company that they're using to mill all these streets got behind because of the rain, so they have to push it back a week. So they're looking to start May 18th now. Other than that, that's all I got, unless you got questions.
Thank you. Wastewater Superintendent Brad Coomer. Headed towards the finish line.
Are we?
I think so. Better than we were.
Good morning.
Morning, Brad.
Any questions on the report?
Just a reminder, you do have an update meeting at 10 a.m. The Board of Public Works is invited to. There are links, or you can attend in person.
Yeah. So we did do wet startup, started yesterday. Parkson and Maximum and Industrial Controls are all here. Where their plant is running with the effluent of the existing water plant. We did fill the tanks up. So the controls, they're testing all the controls and communication back and forth. So we've been working with IDEM also to be able to discharge out our new permit, which doesn't go into effect till June 1st. But we are also setting up plans to be able to shut down the existing plant and transferring everything over to the new one for startup. So hopefully that'll be in June. Plans to do that. So yeah, moving along. There's a lot of stuff going on down there. There's a lot of work that needs to be done yet, but hopefully in June it'll be running.
First of all, we did the plant because we basically had to,
Correct.
But, his last item on the report here, you look at the wastewater department operated 73% capacity. That's for the month of April. That's with the total rainfall 1.74 inches. It had 4 inches. We've been over 100%.
We had a trace last month and we were 125%. Just depends on how much our lagoons are, how much we're transferring back through. So it's kind of hard.
So that capacity is getting scarier and scarier. So you'll be slowly running online June?
Possibly.
So we'll see.
Hopefully.
We'll send up a balloon and something to celebrate the moment once we're able to get that on, slowly come online. It's not going to be all at once. So
it will be all at once.
You will be.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're able
Pull
to
the trigger. We're spending this much money.
Okay,
We're gonna pull
all
the
righty.
trigger and do it right.
Originally, it wasn't going to probably be that way, but
Well, it's permitting. We got 2 outfalls. You can't have 2 permitting with the new permits.
Yeah.
Only 1 outfall is permitted. So
yeah, we would have been under 2 permits at one point but not allowed to be at
correct
2 permits.
So when you're running down, you're probably running around 120%. What will you be running with the new one? 20%?
probably pretty low. I don't have the exact number, but we're 3.35 MGD design. So we're 1.1 now and we're running capacity of 135 to 140% of the year. So
We're at 120. We'll be at 40 about probably.
But depends on rain.
About a
Depends
third
on,
of where we're at.
The new transmission line going down First Street.
Yeah.
We'll probably get a lot more flow during rain events, just because it's getting to us quicker. but we'll be able to process it and get it out too. So that'll be.
You're looking at hourly flows then instead of daily,
Correct.
what we're seeing now.
You know, we got a peak hourly flow, we got a daily hourly flow, and we got a plant design flow, so.
All right, well.
Any other questions?
Nope.
If you guys want to come down, get with me and we'll walk around. There's a lot to see.
It's not muddy right now, so not like it was last month.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brad. Police Chief Brad Kramer. Upgrade door access. Yeah.
Any questions on the report?
Citations. Nope. Anybody? I don't see anything.
No questions? Okay. So the first thing that I've got is the quote to update the security system on the office. We're the last department to have the old system, I believe, so we'll be, the system we're looking at is the system that everybody else has. I guess it functions the same. The only difference between the system that we have now and that system is that we will go into an annual cost. Like now, we don't have any annual cost other than just general maintenance of the system. But we've gotten to a point where the current products that we have, they're no longer supported by the company, the manufacturer of that product. Astro still has some products to kind of patch together what we have in the meantime until we can figure out something. But yeah, it's old. It's been there since we, moved into there. It's 10 years. So, and actually this last month, we had one of our AC units short out and it tripped the main breaker, to the whole department, just went black. Thanks to the electric department, we were able to get that back online pretty quickly. That did take out some of the controllers to the door pads to be able to access without a key, a physical key. So we do have, I think, 2 doors right now. It was going to cost us about $1,000 to replace those 2 controllers, but I knew this was coming. So in order to hopefully spend responsibly, I did not replace those 2 controllers like 2 weeks ago. So.
Yeah, and we've had to make these changes right now because these will no longer be serviced, no warranty coverage, nothing for our present system. It's pretty antiquated at this time, so it's being updated. I think the big question would have here is, you're looking at the last page of the quote, comes down to, do you have a suggestion on what type of cloud service?
Yeah, so
that would work for you? Because there's an option here of 3 months, 1 year, or 5 year of historic data.
So my suggestion would be the basic package. As you know, we have quite a few cameras on our building. That would suffice as for that. Honestly, I wouldn't even have any of this, but because of the system, we have to.
Is the historical data, is all that's telling you who's coming and going?
Yep.
Okay.
And we can see that on camera.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, it tells us, who has what fob, but other than that, I mean, we can check the cameras and see who came in. That's
what we currently do now. We don't look at
yeah.
fobs on doors or anything. We'll just pull up the cameras because it's just much easier to get to.
And I checked with Donnie too on it, and he said he's only used it a couple of times in the past. Now they don't have cameras like we have, so I could see why he's using it. He would use it more than what we would, but.
So 11,285 to upgrade the system and 900 a year?
That is correct.
Okay.
And this is the only system compatible with the rest of the building security systems. Astro.
Yes.
That's why you didn't get other quotes.
We have,
Yeah.
like when I pull up TDK, we have all the buildings except police.
Yeah, and we are in charge of our own door fobs and stuff down there. So like Andrea can't assign one to anybody. It's just us. We take care of that. Yeah. Yeah, we take care of that in-house. So. I guess I'm just looking for a motion to accept.
Yeah. Employee leaving, bad turns, you don't have to worry about them having to check with them.
Yeah.
Not saying that you have that.
Right.
Don't foresee that, but you never know in today's world that is.
And with this system too, we are looking at doing a pin pad on the side of the building. I don't know how many times people have set their keys on the table and walked out of the building. And then they have to call a partner and say, hey, can you let me in? Because nobody else is down there, or it's on the weekend or whatever, or we have to call somebody in to open the door. So we are looking at putting in a keypad. That way they can hit a 4-digit code to access the building. And we don't have to call anybody in, or they don't have to rely on somebody else to get there to be able to get back into the building. Because I think all of us have done it a couple times.
That's just gonna be on a few door, right? The pin pad or the,
It'll be on one.
just on one?
Yep.
Okay.
It'll be on the most common door that we use.
So they're gonna reuse a lot of the hardware and stuff that we already have, which.
That's all new.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked at the cost of that. To me, it wasn't beneficial to the pads. The only thing that we would have kept were the door pads itself, which are already 10 years old. And God knows how long they sat on the shelf before that.
Is that what he's calling the card readers?
Yeah,
So those are going to be replaced?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
absolutely. To me, I can't tell you the cost off the top of my head, but it wasn't much.
Significant not to
No.
do it. Okay.
Not with it being a 10-year-old system. And it's not necessarily supported anymore. So we would be getting different door pads.
This is almost sole source anyway, because they need access to our other buildings too, and we need compatible systems that's compatible to City Hall and other areas where the police
Yeah.
have to frequent.
It keeps us
the
from having
get-ins.
to carry 1,700 keys like the Parks Department right now.
Yeah,
So
which we've reduced those now. So
Yeah.
we're getting there.
thankfully.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So
have-
when they answer alarm at street department or City
Yeah, we
Hall
can
or
get into
something,
any,
they're able to
any
utilize
door,
the same system that they use down there to get in. So
yeah.
that's one reason the other reason this was not a bid thing. I don't know that it would have made much difference, but anyway.
I'll make a motion to approve this upgrade.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Right, motion carries.
Thank you.
Uh,
The next thing I got is the ordinance that I asked Phil to type up for me for the Citizens Firearm Safety Course or familiarization course, whatever I called it.
The police
Safety
department
course.
will be hosting a firearm safety course for interested citizens, but they're going to have to charge a fee to cover some of their expenses. It's a nominal fee of $30 per participant. And so the police department is recommending that you approve that fee and recommend it to the council for an ordinance.
So that just to shed light on it, that fee will go into the local law enforcement continuing education fund. And to my knowledge, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, but we can utilize some of that funding to replace what's used on that course.
no, you're right.
Which is why it went into that fund. Not so it's going into some other fund that's not even relevant. Just so you guys are aware.
The motion would be make a recommendation to the council to move forward with the ordinance.
Motion made.
I'll second.
We got a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you for doing that too. This is you had pretty good attendance
We're
lunch?
trying, well, I mean, we're trying to get it off the ground. We've been busy.
I mean, it should say interest in it.
Yeah, the firearms guys have been extremely busy with the ICAC stuff, so they've been working a lot of that stuff right now, and you know, is it a priority? I would like to teach as much gun safety as possible, but in reality, our victims come first, so.
Yeah.
But last thing I got is just to let you guys know, we are doing, last month, we did several PR details, kids play, senior discussion out at the senior center. Donnie joined us for one of them. And then we did meet with some of the seniors for like career week or whatever with them. I know today we'll be at the elementary school for one of the grades. Tomorrow we'll have another guy out there for another grade. And then I believe it's either next week or the following week, we are assisting with the adulting 101 day for the high school. So, but
You're fully staffed, right?
yeah,
How many reserves you got?
6.
6, good.
Yeah, we've got, I think we have 4 still in the process. I think. It's either 3 or 4 that we're going through right now. And we'll be setting up some interviews next week, hopefully with those guys. And then hopefully bring on some more. So we do have a couple good
Your
quality
capacity is
candidates back.
15 and
What's that?
your capacity can be up to 15, right? But
Yeah, I think it's
probably
10 or 15. I'd have to look at the ordinance, whatever was approved,
so
years ago, but.
well below anyway, any
Yeah.
number that.
Well, and we're trying to add some more just because of the events that, I mean, we have so many events that these guys are asked to work and I don't want to burn all of them out. I'd like to spread the workload amongst them. I know some people can't work them because they have full-time jobs, but at the same time, in the evening, they like extra money, and if the organization will pay them, they pay them. But yeah, any questions? Concerns?
Nope.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Chief.
Thank you,
guys.
Chief. Next, Fire Chief Don Heim.
Are there any questions on the report?
Well, just, not really the report, but I guess maybe we had our first, structure fire with Jasper, right?
Jasper, yes, and it worked out really well. They've had a couple of fires that they put us on standby because by the time we got to the station, they got to the scene and they basically called us down. So I've added this to the report, so the automatic aid you can see for the year. We've been there 3 times. Actually, 2 of those we never even made it out of town. So but we were there and ready and going. And then one of them we made it to Sternberg's and we stood by there. Because as we go, we get updates on the reports of what's really going on. And then they've been here once, and it worked out really well. We actually, it was nice to have extra hands. So it is a good thing whenever their response time was good. And it's a good relationship. So it's going as expected. And I've been really pleased. I think Kenny has too.
Yeah, I talked to, Kenny Oshang, their fire chief last week, and he thought everything went very well.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then we'll be adding, I've talked to their head trainer, and we're creating training opportunities to work together and train together. So we operate similarly. I do have one request that May 20th is our annual pump test day, and the last 3 years we've been going out to the city lake, and it requires us to close the boat ramp. We're not closing the lake. People can still fish from the bank, but if you're on the lake, you may have to wait for us for an opportunity to get off the lake. Because when our truck is pumping, it takes about 45 minutes to go through the whole process per truck. And they don't want to fish near us anyway, because we're creating a lot of noise and water movement. So
You say May 15th?
May 20th.
20th, I'm sorry.
And it would be an all day thing, just during the day. Like, we're normally done by 4 or 5 o'clock. So then we open it, it'd be open in the evening.
Okay.
So do we have to make a
I think
motion?
that's really more of a utility board request, would it not be?
I think the Board of Public Works can do it.
Okay, all righty.
Yeah, it's city property.
Okay.
So we need to make a motion to be able to shut that down.
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion to shut the boat ramp down, May 20th.
I'll second.
We have first and a second. All those in favor? Aye.
And
Any
we'll
opposed?
publicize it. And so
Publicizing, you work with Jerry out there on.
work with
everything.
Jerry. I put signs at the boat ramp, and then we'll publicize it through the city and our or our Facebook page, and get it out as to many people as we can.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Tony.
No further questions?
Nope. We'll, we have, building permits here, listed. 1,149,181. Some of that, you can see there, we have commercial, industrial, about 1.1 million, I think, in the last 12 months. We're looking at, I think we're at about 45 million over the last 12 months with all the expansions and stuff that are going on, not including the $50 million, and 42 million of that in construction at the wastewater plant. So a lot of construction going on right now in Huntingburg. So there, I don't know if you have any questions on the report. Obviously, Paul's not here, but there's there. All right. Andrea Brown.
Good morning.
Good
Any
morning.
Questions on the report? We
Yeah.
did have a drug and alcohol policy audit with the IURC for the gas PHMSA last week, I think, and that went really well. They had a couple of things that we had to specify within the book, but other than that, we passed, so that was good.
All of our renewals are coming through right now.
Yes,
Insurance.
those have all
and
been sent off to multiple agencies, so hopefully,
We're in the middle of evaluating, the health insurance reports
Yes.
right now.
Yeah.
And a few other things.
lots going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
City Attorney Phil Schneider.
I have nothing.
Tom Stipple.
Nothing.
Okay. Anybody else? Any board items? Any citizen items? Okay.
I had emailed someone at city office. They said I need to present a proposal. So hopefully I'm also cheap and only made 2 copies.
Okay.
It's pretty simple.
What's your name, please?
Mike Accounting. I live at 205 North Jackson Street. And I would like to pour a slab between the curb and the city sidewalk. My proposal is to dig 6 inches deep, put 2 inches of gravel down, pour a 4-inch slab. Because we do street parking for one of our vehicles, and it gets kind of messy when in the winter and also in rainy season. So they said present it here, see if there's any questions. You probably have more expertise. I know you can't go too deep.
The reason we had him come to you guys is because this is on the city right away.
We have a gas line there too.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
But that's the reason I had him bring it to you guys, because he would be pouring this concrete on the right. I don't see an issue with.
I didn't know you were doing this proposal. We probably could have brought you in a little earlier.
Well,
Should've
it's been
sit there.
entertaining at least.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Okay.
So yeah, the only thing that goes through there, we talked to Tim and Richard at the gas department. and there is a gas line that goes through there, and we did explain to your wife that if for some reason we would need to
Yes, yeah, correct.
do any
Yeah.
sort of repairs on that gas line or whatever, we may have to dig that
Yeah,
concrete
absolutely.
up there, but
Yeah.
other than that, there were no other utilities or anything in there. It was just
Yeah.
a gas line.
Gotcha.
Well, in that case, you know, if he's gonna pay for the initial to put it in, if the city has to tear it out, then the city would just put it back, right?
Well, no, it's
No,
it's our right of way.
It's
This-
our right of way.
he-
That's part of this discussion is he would have to put it back. If we had to tear it out because it's in our right of way to fix a utility, then it's on him to put back. the same.
Well, a related question. So like, there's so many walkways like this down my street. I'm probably one of the only houses without it. And they have repaired others when they tear up around there. So that's my only, not that I could probably just report again, but
Technically, that's the way the
Okay.
rule states.
Okay,
that,
yeah.
Because it's in our right of way.
yeah. Okay.
But I'm not gonna say, yeah, we have never done that.
Yeah,
you know, in the
yeah, no, I
past,
get it.
but-
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
I guess it's kind of the same instance if you put a fence over right away and you gotta get through, you tear it down, then it's at the homeowners. It's basically the same thing.
Basically, yeah.
And I know with our utilities and other things that we work together with people to cause as little damage as possible to anything that's there, especially with fences sometimes. And that seems to be the biggest reoccurring thing that we have, prior to requirement of the fence permits that we have now. So you compacted, number 8 and with a 4-inch concrete over the base, which is adequate. I don't, you see anything there?
I think as long as he's following like, you know, what you guys do with sidewalks and other things, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, I would just want to clarify what kind of finish. I'd want it to look more like the city sidewalk. I did a pretty heavy brick finish on
There
mine.
is, yeah, they just
Just-
do whatever you want, whatever you're
Oh, okay.
comfortable with.
Okay, cool.
205 North Jackson.
So do we need a motion for?
Yeah.
I'll make the motion for him to pour concrete in front of his house.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
And one other thing that my neighbor also asked me about, and maybe this is a utility board question. I have a tree in my yard that is growing around the power line that goes from the pole to my neighbor's house. He says it's an ash tree, so it's literally not, it's on its way out. He said that city is in charge of either trimming it back or even removing it if it's not in good health. So I just wanted some guidance on,
Say-
what I need to do
would-
about that.
I would call the utility office.
Call utility, okay,
And have them go look at it.
yeah,
They do trim trees that are surrounding power lines.
yeah, okay,
So let them.
Yeah.
They would, I'm not sure they
Yeah,
could.
what's
So,
That's-
yeah,
that's-
I agree.
That's the right way to go with it. Call them, let them look at it. and,
Talk to John.
Yeah.
Yep.
Talk to John
Rupeller.
Rupeller, and he's the energy superintendent.
John Rudepeller, how do you spell his last name?
Oh, wait,
Yeah, that's
I
it.
guess-
there's 20 different spellings in here. Which one do you want?
Yeah. Right spelling,
Yeah.
At the reception desk down, she has his card
Okay.
out front for you. You can get a hold of John, or I think Rich's is there too, but yes.
Thank you,
Okay.
Micah.
James, how you doing?
I'm doing good. First off, I want to start by saying thank you very much. What you guys did today, I don't think you know, but I got a ton of tech. You guys know that I talked to a ton of people, right? A ton of people reach out to me in the city, but what you did today was phenomenal. It's what a lot of us have been asking for a long time. Before a vote's made, you allow the people to be heard during that time and not after the vote. So for that, I want to say thank you. It's huge that what you guys just did. I don't think you realize that. So Mayor for allowing it, board for accepting it. Thank you very much for that. I had a list of things, but I'm just gonna deal with one today. And as you know, a lot of people reach out. So 14th Street / Veterans Parkway / whatever you want to call it. With the amount of money we spent on that, I know, Mayor, you talked about last meeting that we were granted a proposal of like an 80-20 split to get that fixed for somewhere in the $20-ish million range. Looks like it's going to be moved up from like 3032 to 2028, something around there, just depending on kind of a time frame what we're looking at.
It's a 2028 administration of funds, but 2029
project, yes. Could be, and we were blessed to get even moved up that soon, right? It's a 5-year delay to make a decision, then plus the process after. So we're very blessed on that end. My question is, back in September, Jason, you had asked the board to spend roughly 20, and I could be a little off on the numbers, $25,000 to $30,000 for a patch on that area on 14th Street, right in front of the event center to the west a little bit. I had then stood up standing over there and said, that patch isn't going to work due to pumping water. You guys can go back and watch the minutes. I encourage you to. Jason said, well, we've done it at 3 different spots. And I had then asked Jason to provide me with the locations, which Jason did that afternoon, which I appreciated. I went and looked at those pictures, and as I thought, those are in non-pumping areas to where that patch would have worked. This $20,000+ that we spent in this area is once again unnecessary. We didn't fix it right again. So I guess my question to the board and to Jason is, what are we doing until 2029 with this area? A ton of people are frustrated with it. It looks, number one, we talk about aesthetics and the way it looks stupid. It's rough, and we're going to continue to put patchwork on it. I was going to bring it up last meeting because we had a hole the size of Texas out there, but I felt like I talked too much that last meeting anyway, so I wanted to table it for this one. Since then, we had then put a patch on it that morning of our last Board of Public Works meeting, but that patch itself is already worn out today. I went through it this morning and took pictures. My question is, what are we going to do, and what are we going to do right? I'm tired of continuing to waste money as a taxpayer. What are we going to do? We talk about we're running out of money every day. We're getting less and less, but we continue to make stupid decisions on the way we fix things.
What would you suggest we do for it?
Cut the whole thing out, redo the subgrade, and bring it back up.
And then redo it when we do.
100%. That's the only way to do it. We should have done it when it was a small 2x2, but it became a 4x4, and I talked about it. And then it became a 6x6, and we decided we're going to go this route back in September. And now here we are again. I call it dead money in all the meetings I go to across the country with my construction, when I oversee finance. It's dead money. We got to stop having dead money. We've got to be fiscally responsible. We have no money. So what are we going to do correctly moving forward? And can I get an answer by next meeting of what we're going to do? And we can't just cut out the one little area that's bad. If we have, you got to go 4 foot outside of that area. And Mayor, if I'm not mistaken, you went to the road school this year. Is that correct with Jason? So I don't know what they talked about that, but that is one of their high points, right? Of how to properly fix a road, how to properly patch a road.
Is that something we could do in-house?
100%.
Okay.
I mean, we could, CalCarr can pay that big of an area. We can't, okay, CalCarr can do it when they're doing one of our other streets, or Rudolph.
So how big of an area realistically are we talking now? How big has it gotten? I drove through the other day, but
Yeah, it's going to continue to get, again, when I brought this up, it was a 2x2. I have pictures of measurements, 2x2. It is now probably, I don't know, Jason, 30 foot wide, 40 foot wide to cover everything you guys had put down on that half patch job we did back in September that cost us $25,000+.
That patch job did other areas, not just that area.
It did that road.
Right.
Correct. And the
The
other
rest of it's
6
all
patches
held
are
up fine.
decent. They weren't pumping water in those areas, like I had stated 6 months ago.
You're right.
So I'm just wanting to know what we're doing.
We'll look at it.
yeah, we'll discuss it.
Yeah.
Can we have a decision by next meeting so
I think that's
we can be
realistic,
physically
isn't it?
responsible with our money?
Yep, and, yeah, and we have Steve McFerrin on Street and Alley Committee, along with myself, and yeah, we look at all those options out there and weigh the costs on a monthly basis, so.
Good deal. When is that next meeting, Mr. Mayor?
It's not a public meeting.
That the street and alley one's not?
No.
Okay, good deal. Well, I appreciate it. I just, again, want to be fiscally responsible. I want to hold ourselves accountable. We've got to stop doing stupid stuff. We got to stop wasting money. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Thanks, James.
Any other items here? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion made.
Second.
You got a first and a second. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Give me 30 seconds.
Hey, Brad,
Yeah.
With the two of them.